about to have a cool time on episode 149 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast. On the podcast today, we have resident bear whisperer, Ryan Holtz.
Hey, check me out on YouTube. 370 views and counting.
Do you wanna give a little context for that epithet today, Ryan?
Sometimes you're up in a mile-high observatory on top of a mountain in Southern California, and you're with a tour group that contains both elderly people and very young children.
Mm-hmm.
And a bear starts roaming around somewhere off in the distance, and you're just like, shit, it's a bear! And you're like zooming in as close as you can to get like a cool picture, and your thought never really crosses your mind that like, what if it gets even closer than that? And all of a sudden, it takes a turn once the people inside the museum desperately like close the door at the last second and starts heading your way, and you don't really know what to do, so you pull out your camera and start recording. And then next thing you know, you're about 6 feet away, just face to face with a top of the food chain predator.
Yeah.
It's just kind of in a staring contest with you. And you don't know what to do because there's young children nearby and no one's really doing anything, and you're one of the you're the biggest guy in the group, and you're just like, well, I can't just like run or like, so you start making rules for yourself, like, well, if it comes off the ledge, it's time to start screaming and getting big and trying to scare it away, and then a car comes by and scares it away, and everything ends.
Yeah.
So, yeah, brief 2 minutes of pretty weird shit going on. But, yeah, the Ryan, Lucas, friend of the podcast Ian, and friend of the podcast Angel had a fun experience with Ursula, Ursid, or whatever the fuck.
We as millennials... Yeah, we as millennials joke a lot. Yeah, you know what? Wouldn't be so bad if we died. And then, you're in a situation where you come away from it thinking, pretty glad I didn't get mauled to death by Apple Cider the Bear today.
That is one of my top tweets that I've seen in, like, maybe all time, of some teenager at the height of the fucking pandemic just said, what the fuck are you millennials complaining about? I thought this is what you wanted.
Yeah, us millennials, we love to be hyperbolic about death.
Yeah.
I don't think I was honestly afraid to die personally. I was definitely afraid of seeing a small child get taken.
And like, I'm right there with you. You're very aware in that situation of, okay, I cannot express any, like, threat to this animal right now. But also, how do I fight this thing if I need... How do I get a child away from this thing if I need to?
Right.
Yeah.
No, it was like, everything seems chill, so probably don't want to upset that.
Nope.
And then, the like, well... I've got an old woman hiding behind me. I've got my girlfriend behind me. There's a family, a full-blown family that's kind of been separated from the group artificially by the fact of us moving and for some reason not following us. And then, there's a lot of variables coming into your head. And the one that I think provided me with sanity was, if it comes off the wall, it's time to really start putting up a fight. Like, if it comes off the wall, it's time to go on the offensive because all bets are off.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Good times.
Everyone watch the video.
I cannot believe you guys
wild.
missed out on your opportunity to bare knuckle box a bear.
You kick, man.
Just
kick that shit.
No, you could bare knuckle box a bear. It'll never happen again. Your moment is gone.
You could barely avoid getting your arm ripped off. That was what I was saying to them. I was just like, people underestimate how strong our fucking legs are. Like, if you catch any, like, dog, I mean, that bear was, like, the size of a very large dog.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, bad, but not a full-blown, like, grizzly bear where it's like you're literally not going to do anything to it.
No.
If you catch something like that with a well-placed kick in the teeth, it's not going to keep fighting. Like, it's
Just gonna say,
not worth it.
Fuck.
Yeah, dude,
Jesus.
what the fuck? As it runs away, like,
Yeah.
we kick hard, man.
And like, okay, if a bear puts a small child in its mouth, the only thing I can do is like kick it in the ribs, hope that makes it drop the child and not bite down harder,
Which,
and then either take the kid and run away or keep wailing on the bear because it is just going to scoop up this now wounded child like nothing.
No, at that point, you get another kick in, you grab the kid, you throw it like a football to the mom.
Ooh,
the
there you
mom
go.
catches it in stride.
yeah, Randall
runs
Cobb
to
on
the
4th and
house.
8.
Yeah. And you
Randall
just
Cobb breaking free
run
of
it-
coverage on the other side.
Ryan and Ian come out like the cut, and you just run a train on this bear. It's like season 2 finale of The Boys.
Except
Yeah.
the
Just
bear.
wail on this fucking bear.
This teenage, struggling bear that is struggling due to circumstances outside of its control with wildfires and shit like that. Droughts.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, it bit someone the weekend before we were there. Didn't sound too severe, but it did
No.
bite someone. I saw a bear attack, and I looked at the footage, and I was like, oh, it just kind of went after some food, and then they scared it away.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it got a bite in. Didn't notice that.
Did a little.
And then I also saw a Mount Wilson bear attack, and I was like, oh, it was on the same mountain. They left out the part where it was literally in the exact same observatory that we were in. And it was just the exact same bear. So,
Yeah.
poor Apple Cider the bear. Hopefully they don't kill it. Hopefully they're able to just relocate it and it stops coming right up to people because it doesn't give a fuck because a bunch of people probably fed it at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also on the podcast today, these are still the introductions. A man who never doubted for a second that the Bucks were elite. Andrew Clark.
I know the Bucks are elite.
Yeah.
No reason to worry. I was not absolutely panicked out of my fucking gourd going into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And, all was all right. Stephen A. showed up to Milwaukee despite saying that he wouldn't. And the Bucks won. David Bakhtiari showed up, chugged beers like he normally does, but brought his dad along. His dad's just an old man with a mustache. And he chugged a beer like a champ. It was pretty cool.
Good game. Need about 3 more like it.
We need exactly 3 more like it.
Bucks and 6.
Bucks and 6. Also, hello everyone. My name is Lucas DeRuyter. I am also here today realizing that I think my life in California is going to just be non-stop wild shit. It's all that's just going to keep happening to me while I'm here. And I say bring it on.
It's the place where stuff happens, man.
Apparently.
You came on. There is something to it. Like I'm assuming it's the same thing with New York when people are like, it's kind of just the place where shit goes down. Well, LA's basically that. Like it's just you're in the middle of things, man. Shit goes down. It's fun.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird, plenty of weird stuff in News of the Week. The new Nintendo Switch model is real. It's called the Nintendo Switch parentheses OLED. Am I saying that right, Andrew?
No, it's Nintendo Switch parentheses OLED model parentheses. It's fucking awful.
Why are people so bad at naming consoles? Like
I
Sony,
don't know.
Sony is literally in a league of their own. They're the only ones that are just
And-
like, increase the number by one. What the fuck?
So Sony is absolutely elite at naming their consoles, and it's
They're
just
not.
because
They're just the only passable
and that's
one.
just
Yeah.
because, in comparison, no one else realizes you can just increase them numerically.
Yeah.
And
The fucking Wii U and now this. They're repeating the exact same mistake.
yeah, Nintendo Switch OLED model is so fucking bad. I mean, Nintendo Switch Lite, it's just simple.
It's passable.
Yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's a smaller version of the Nintendo Switch. Okay, we can get into the concept of just putting a slightly better screen on your console and marketing it as a whole new fucking thing. But like Nintendo Switch OLED model, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The Xbox One X, as bad as it is, works.
Yeah,
the PS4 Pro, like everyone knows what that means. Nintendo Switch Plus, you can find ways. Why the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it would be like if the Xbox Series S is it the Series S or Series X? I honestly forgot.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. It'd be like if the Xbox Series X was called like the Xbox 1.1 gigabyte solid state drive or some shit. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
It is. So the big change is that it displays in 1080p while in handheld mode. Has a slightly bigger screen.
I don't know if it
Right.
does display in 1080p.
I thought that was the change.
I think it's just brighter.
would be.
I don't believe that. I don't think it's just bright. I don't think they just added more light.
In what will be a surprise for the last few months of speculation, the device resolution remains exactly the same at 1280 by 720. Yeah, they didn't even.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This is not the 4K Switch many have been hoping for. People wanted a fucking 4K Switch. Dude.
I thought people
Do they
just
even
wanted a
unders-
fucking 1080 Switch.
Yeah. Do they even understand graphics? Like, you can't jump from a 720 to 4K in the same form, whatever, or what's it called? Structural form.
I think some people thought there was going to be
graphics card in there. It was going to be fine. That would fix it.
I know that a lot of people thought that they were going to like change the processor and make it a little bit more powerful, or at least like increase the memory. So I think this actually might have a bigger memory, but I'm not positive. But yeah,
Up to 64, but that's not
it's not a
much.
lot.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly how people thought the Nintendo Switch Pro was gonna work, but needless to say, people were disappointed. I don't give a shit.
I mean, on some level, I'm grateful that I don't have to buy like a middle step console for Nintendo games. Like, Breath of the Wild 2 is going to look like how Breath of the Wild 2 is going to look no matter what I play it on. So that's reassuring.
No, but it'll be brighter on the OLED model.
I only play games like that on my TV is also
It's kind of true.
dimension of all this. Yeah.
At least on the first run through, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You might do a rerun on handheld mode on the plane someday, but
Absolutely.
that's literally the only reason I want to Switch. Can I rent a Switch for flights? That's the only thing I want to do. Like,
Hit me up.
no, you got to use your Switch. And Lucas, you play your Switch too much for me to borrow it for a week. Like,
Okay, Skyward Sword is coming out. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry about that.
come on,
Okay,
man.
no, yeah.
I'm not going to
timing.
borrow
Bad
your
timing.
Switch. There's so many people that use it like once a month or something. Like,
Ironically, my Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons finally crapped out, and I had to send them in to Nintendo for
everyone's
repairs.
right?
Yeah, no, like the joysticks are just fucked. It's like not even playable anymore.
Did you?
I sent them in to Nintendo for repairs, and they're probably not going to be back before I have to actually take a flight later this month.
Oh no.
You can connect a normal controller still though when it's in handheld mode.
I don't have one. I
You don't
almost
have any other controllers?
No.
Not not all of them are compatible with the Switch.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
but
but
I mean, you've had a Switch for how many years, and you really it's impressive, honestly.
You know, I
Rolling with just the OG Joy-Cons.
yeah, and like the thing that comes with it that you snap the Joy-Cons in, so it's like a regular controller. I have that, but that's not a controller; it's just a frame.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know, any GameCube controllers?
I don't think those plug in.
You can buy like a little dongle. Ian has it.
Oh.
I have
It's
that
actually
too,
pretty
yeah.
cheap to use.
I don't know if that would really work
Maybe.
on the plane.
Better than no Switch at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
It has a little kickstand, right? You could put it on the tray and then play with a controller.
Yeah.
So-
that's true.
the Nintendo Switch parenthesis OLED model on parenthesis does have like an improved kickstand as one of the selling points.
Yeah.
Ooh!
The improved kickstand is the
Holy
dumbest thing
shit.
I've fucking heard.
No, I will not tolerate this slander. You guys didn't mention an improved kickstand. This changes fucking everything. The name, forgiven. 720p in the year 2021, forgiven. New kickstand? Are we talking metal? Did they build a metal kickstand?
Honestly, I don't even know why they
shit.
went with OLED model when they could have just gone with the obvious and had the Nintendo Switch improved kickstand model.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch, parenthesis, metal kickstand, unparenthesis.
We're talking metal kickstand. We're talking the full back of that Switch. Gonna fold out, prop it up right, rock solid,
damn.
earthquake proof, practically.
Well,
Don't sue Nintendo. Don't sue.
yeah, hold on.
Andrew, when you sent your Joy-Cons in, did you get put in like a queue for that, or did they give you a shipping label right away?
They gave me one right away.
Okay, I'm in a queue, and I imagine demand might
But-
be higher in California.
Yeah, right? Well, didn't Ian also do it? Like, all three of you did this within like a month. So, like, it must just be now's the time where Switch Joy-Cons die, right? Like,
If you got in early, probably. Yeah.
so that's why there's a bunch of demand now.
I think part of it is because for a good chunk of the pandemic, they stopped doing it. They said like they would not take repairs for a while, and now it's back open, and I think maybe that's why there were a bunch of people waiting to get them sent in. But it's weird. Like mine's, I know you said that there might be more demand in California, but like mine got sent to New York,
Oh.
so I don't really know if it's regional.
Are they actually? Why are they repairing them? First of all, can I just ask that? Like, why aren't they just replacing them?
Might be
I feel like
cheaper.
repairing them is really expensive.
That's what Nintendo does. You up until like 2017, I think, if you had an original NES, you could send that to Nintendo and they would repair it free of charge, I think.
That makes sense
Yeah.
because it's like there's no other options. You can't. They're not going to send you a new NES. Like for every other tech company that I've ever experienced, if something breaks and it's within warranty, you send it in and you just get a new one, and then they, I'm assuming, repair it and resell it as a refurbished item instead of like repairing your specific Joy-Con and then sending you back your specific Joy-Con just to speed up the process and make everything more efficient. I don't know,
Yeah.
but what can you do? You should have like carved a little something into the Joy-Con to make sure that you just get yours
yeah.
back and they don't just send you some other randos.
It does have like 2 worn out spots on the plastic that I took note of, so I'm gonna know.
We're gonna put it to the test.
Yeah.
It's like what my mom's friends did back in high school, apparently, at Mexican restaurants, where they would, you'd get the chips brought out to your table, and then they would like bury a napkin in the middle of it so, to test whether or not the restaurant was just dumping the chips back in the vat that you didn't eat or whatever, and then serving those to someone else.
Okay.
And then they'd find napkins in their chips.
Oh.
Sometimes. So the restaurant was just
That's a health code violation right there.
recycling those chips, man.
It was the
like it.
80s, man. Things were wild.
Yeah, man. Too busy snorting coke to care about whether these were reused chips.
You know, they would have loved fucking Chuck E. Cheese's and the reused pizza conspiracies.
Right.
You want to know what the Final Fantasy people aren't reusing, though?
The font.
The font! Screenshots from the upcoming pixel remasters of the first Final Fantasy games have surfaced, and font bad.
That whole statement was something that just... I feel like it entered my brain and left without touching a single fold.
Look at this shit, though. Look at this. Look at
I'm trying to look at it and understand why it's bad.
what the fuck is that? What is that Calibri? That's not fantasy. That's not a fantasy font.
A fantasy font?
Yeah, I mean, is it good? No, but like, I don't understand the offense, I suppose. I think it's just because this type of game, right? My brain is not trained to look for specific types of font for a JRPG. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Back it out even broader. If you paid $140 for 6 games and all of them had this font, wouldn't you be a little upset?
I mean,
It's just a sans serif font. Jesus.
I physically...
Exactly, it's just sans serif.
I'm literally unable to put myself in the headspace of someone who paid $140 for a pixel reboot of a game. I've tried. I just tried for a good 10 seconds, and boy, it's not possible, man.
I hate it. It's clustered together, the kerning is awful, the spacing between different text is... blech.
It's narrow. I will definitely say that it's narrow. It's not attractive.
It's hard to read.
Okay, come on. Wouldn't go that far.
I need my letters spaced out so I can read them all individually and then put them together as a word.
I use Times New Roman in the planning doc, which is a awful font. Like,
hold up. What?
Yes. Times New Roman's fucking trash.
What font did you type all of your college papers in?
Yeah, because it's literally required.
Yeah, no, it
that was
has
more
to
of
be
a
Times New Roman, double spaced
This is
or
the
single
font of
spaced.
scholars.
No, it's literally so that they can make sure you're not shortchanging them on word or page count. It's literally font of lazy college kids throwing together a paper at the last second.
All right, well, you know what? Here you fucking have a lobster. You happy?
Oh boy, no. This looks like my my high school friend who would change his LG banter font to like this stupid ass cursive looking shit that was just like made me want to die every time I saw his phone.
Why do
He
people
was like,
do
"Oh,
that?
dude, look." Yeah, dude, look. What do you think this message means? And I'm just like, ugh! Like, I can't. I don't even want to read it. Like, read it to me. I don't want to look at your fucking font, man.
It's like you have to read it in an accent. It's like, Sarah says she won't go to the frozen yogurt store with me. Why would that bitch do something so stupid?
Who is that character?
I don't know.
Pulled out of nowhere. Also, he was a man, right?
Yes.
Saying this.
Yes.
He was recounting what Sarah said in a
Yes.
text message.
Yes. No, that's what that's what your friend sounds like when he reads cursive.
Oh, and he's reading it to me because I can't read his text messages. I got it. Yeah, no, it was a fucking nightmare. No thanks.
Nah.
No cursive fonts, man.
How about
Straight trash, homie.
no director's cuts?
What's no director's cuts?
No more director's cuts. Hideo Kojima doesn't like them and doesn't like the name Death Stranding director's cut, apparently.
I mean, all he said was that like a director's cut is usually just when something was taken out and the director wants to put it back in. He's like, this is all additional content. This was not part of my original vision, and it got taken out because it was too much. It's just extra. Mm-hmm. God damn, stop with the fucking fonts.
So even Hideo Kojima saying Death Stranding director's cut, not an actual director's cut. And one more interesting piece of information gleaned from this article is that apparently the first director's cut was for the game Sonic Adventure DX director's cut. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he's happy to be in such distinguished company.
Absolutely. And
there's no sarcasm whatsoever in that.
Oh, and then last but not least for video game news, MatPat of Game Theory will continue to make Five Nights at Freddy's videos, despite the creator, Scott Cawthon, making considerable financial donations to conservative politicians. MatPat argues that the series is now much bigger than its creator. Also, you have to imagine MatPat likes making money.
I love the Kotaku article's title. One of the biggest Five Nights at Freddy YouTubers.
That's all
fucking
he is.
Game Theory is a Five Nights at Freddy's channel, baby.
I don't know how many videos Game Theory has by now, but 50 of them are about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Are they really?
They've got a lot more than 50, fam.
Wait,
Like,
are you
they've
fucking
got
serious?
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Specifically about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
50 of their videos, including this one MatPat just put up, about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Holy shit.
Hold on. It's definitely a huge part of the channel. Like, there's no doubt about that. But, I mean, they do have hundreds and hundreds of... They must be in the thousands, right? They're an OG YouTuber.
I thought you meant that he made hundreds of videos about Five Nights at Freddy's.
No. I think they got about 50. I don't know how to see how many videos, but the channel's been around since 2009. Like, I'm guessing they've got over 1,000.
Okay. Because I saw, like, when I briefly watched some game theory videos back in college, I saw, like, 4 Five Nights at Freddy's videos, and I kind of thought that was all of them.
No. 50.
50 is a lot
quote
of videos.
in the article, yeah. Okay, if I go to Game Theorist channel, oh wow, they have, Freddy Fazbear in, like, the banner for the channel.
Okay. Alongside Anime Girl, Pixel Guy, Mario, and Pikachu.
Doki Doki Literature Club. Monica is more than an anime girl. Okay, so...
Who's Pixel Guy?
Let me go back. Pixel Guy is that Stardew Valley, Andrew?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. It's not Stardew Valley.
Mm-hmm. So then they're at 583 videos. 50 of those FNAF'd. So 600 divided by 50 divided by 600. Mm-hmm. We're looking.
It's like 9% of their videos.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You'd call that a Five Nights at Freddy YouTuber?
Honestly,
9% of your videos.
I don't know if I would, but after seeing how funny it sounds, I definitely would.
No, I mean, if you want to fuck with someone, then absolutely do it. But like actually saying that's a legitimate thing might be slightly different. He starts his video with, "This is gonna be a tough one," like every YouTuber apology video ever.
But except he didn't fucking do anything. I mean, like, continuing to, like,
do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, continuing to, like, make money off this is definitely doing something. But this is not him making an apology over something he did. This is him like, man, this sucks. I really gotta keep doing this. You guys aren't gonna like it.
This really sucks.
Nah, fuck this situation. Thankfully, we're not saying fuck anything else today, are we?
That's just a theory. A Nazi theory.
What?
This is the Five Nights at Freddy's creator.
Oh, okay. I see.
That'd be fun. If in every single video, disclaimer, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's is a known Nazi, so probably don't buy his games.
Or watch these videos.
With that being said, let's get right into Freddy Fazbear. Did he like anchovies on his pizza? So fucking cringe, man.
Now, back in the day, though, nope, that was...
No, you were just younger. You were just younger. Your cringe meter wasn't quite calibrated.
I may be cringe, but I am free.
I watched a lot of cringy fucking YouTubers when I was younger. I am willing to admit. I was fucking into the Call of Duty YouTube scene, man. They had fucking garbage tier shit. I thought montages were actually unironically cool. Like Call of Duty sniper montages.
Oh, God. How's that scene doing on YouTube right now? Hold on.
It's still going.
Montage parodies killed montages. Like, in the same way that Austin Powers killed the, like, jokey James Bond. Like, once you get fucking wrecked like that, you can't go back to it.
Parody, I mean, here's the thing. Parody Call of Duty highlight videos are, for all intents and purposes, just Call of Duty highlight videos. But, like, with the, I guess, the undertones of you knowing, like, this is kind of parody, but when everything's parody, nothing is.
Oh, God.
So
okay.
They're still around.
So I Googled Call of Duty headshot montage. Is that fair? That a thing people would look up back in 2012?
Sure.
Maybe.
Top result,
Probably not.
4,000 views. Next result, 179,000 views. After that, 1.1 million. Following that, 24 views.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
I mean, Grizz made a video a year ago. Grizz was the fucking best, man. Some of those Grizz montages were fucking obnoxious. I don't know. Look up ZZIR Grizz. It's Grizz spelled backwards and then forwards. They were the best of them, which doesn't necessarily mean they're good, but yeah. No, once you watch the Monopoly montage parody, then that pretty much locks you in. So, yeah. What were we fucking? Robin Hood!
Oh, the Fox version or the Guy version?
Both!
Hooray!
Oh, wait, no, that's 538.
Oh.
5e Fox is from 538, not Robin Hood.
Oh. I don't know if I'd tap 5e Fox, but okay.
Wait, the Fox version of Robin? Oh!
Disney.
The Disney animated version.
Yeah.
I was talking about the app.
Oh.
I had functional fixedness about the app. But, yeah, I mean, this was actually old news now because we haven't done the podcast in a long time. But Robin Hood was fucking ordered to pay the largest penalty ever.
Yeah, because
that's something.
they shut down trading and cost customers millions of dollars so that the business that owns them wouldn't go under. They fucked the market.
A $70 million penalty for
It's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, it's a slap on the wrist, but the largest penalty ever, I guess, puts it into perspective of this is as big as it'll ever get. You literally will never see a penalty of this size, really. Like, so I guess, even though it's tiny.
Why does the presumably Robin Hood CEO look like a bad John Lennon impersonator?
Yeah, he does have a look, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I thought the CEO daddies the Wall Street daddies were paying him enough to get a decent haircut, but apparently not.
No, he's just like you. He's just like all of us.
Him and Martin Shkreli are just two peas in a pod, huh? And Greg from Succession.
God damn, fuck these people.
Yeah. I mean, got our money back at least.
Hey!
Yeah.
Well, Lucas didn't.
No. It's okay. I made it back on Coors Light, and soon to be making it back on CD Projekt Red.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I made my money back on AMC and then immediately accidentally lost some of it on Virgin Galactic because I somehow put a order in without realizing it. And
That guy's so good at the stock market, literally doing it in his sleep.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say about that. And I was like, either something really illegal happened, or I don't know how you fucked up that bad.
No.
Like, those were the two options. And so I was like, I don't really know what to say.
I was checking it on the app and I was looking at, like, you know, the cost of the stock and how many shares I could get. And it said, do you want to put a trade in? And I said no. And it must have just saved it anyway. Like, I must have done, like, a limit buy. I don't fully understand it.
Then you didn't
That's how
say
you
no.
explained with me. There's so many steps to put in a limit buy.
Yeah,
like, it's
I
not
know.
just one button. You have to do a lot
I
of shit
don't
to put
know.
something
I mean,
like that in.
I must have just really fucked it up. But like, yeah, last night I was messing around with some stuff, looking at buying Virgin Galactic, and I'm like, you know what? No, I don't want to buy this. I don't think it's gonna go up all that much. And then I woke up this morning and it still wasn't there. There was nothing there, and then the stock market opened, and immediately it was like, you have just bought X amount of shares of space.
Is that the first thing that you did this morning?
What?
Like open up your trading app and
Oh, I checked it at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Just I'm like, oh, I wonder if like pre-trading prices on Virgin Galactic are open, and like they hadn't opened yet. I'm like, okay, whatever, and I closed it, and then I checked back up again because I was gonna I was curious to see what the stock had gone to when the market opened, and it didn't go up, and then it's like, oh, you have lost $120. I'm like, but how? I haven't invested in anything. But I did.
You went into a fugue state and your third persona emerged. Fucking Big A. Big A came out and was like, nah, man, fucking limit buy this shit. Let's go for it. Let's go crazy.
So yeah, it's definitely a white person problem, if I've ever heard one. Oh, well, I accidentally bought too many shares of SPCE.
A YouTube video that I watched was this tech douchebag who coded something that would basically just interact directly with a trading platform and then let his Twitch stream buy stocks, like buy and sell stocks for like an hour.
With his money?
Yeah, with his money. And he lost a bunch of money originally, but now it's been like months since then, and he's gained like 25% on his portfolio that they assembled.
Jeez.
Which just shows you that you just can't go wrong. Like, it's a fucking
hell.
scam. Like, it's literally random. No one knows anything. So.
Does Stephen A. Smith know anything?
No.
No?
No. I mean, yes. But also
then why
no.
are we talking about him?
Well, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, I mean, just like the rest of the sports talk guys, they're professional bad take makers. Like, it's literally their job to say things that are pretty outrageous to then get people talking. But this was just racist. Mm-hmm. This was not like fucking Aaron Rodgers is overrated, or oh man, Odell Beckham is never gonna have a career and he should be put in jail, or whatever.
Guys, why do you keep asking us for more news about Aaron Rodgers leaving? Like, who made this such a big deal? Asks I, Adam Schefter.
Yeah, no, that was also super fucking cringy. But we can't overlook the fact that Stephen A. Smith apparently just huge racist. because they were asking about Shohei Ohtani, who is, for all intents and purposes, the face of baseball right now. He's leading the league in home runs, and he's a pitcher, and a really good one.
Yeah, a good pitcher.
Yeah, a really good pitcher who is leading the goddamn league in home runs. They put him in as their designated hitter.
He plays designated hitter when he doesn't
hits
pitch.
every single fucking day. Like, the reason that pitchers don't usually develop as hitters is because they only come to bat like a handful of times a week because they pitch every 5, 6, 7 days depending on the rotation, and then they hit once or twice that game. Shohei Ohtani is hitting every fucking game, and he's really good.
I don't know if that's necessarily the reason that pitchers aren't good hitters. I would say it's more just like the odds of someone being a good enough pitcher to make the MLB and also a good enough hitter to make the MLB are so... It'd be like the odds of a 7'6" player being good at, being 7'6" in basketball and also being the fastest player in the NBA. Like, it's just like the odds are so small.
They're not related.
Possible.
Yeah,
but yeah, the skills are like almost fundamentally against each other. Like, so yeah, it's just unbelievable. He's basically, so in high school, like, the pitcher is usually just one of the best athletes. So a lot of times, they'll also just be a position player when they're not pitching. He's basically like doing the high school dad dick version, but in like the highest level of competitive baseball, where he's just so much better than everyone else that he kind of does everything.
I think they may have done it a couple of times. I'm not positive, but like, it's definitely something they've been talking about, of that, like, on the days that he's not hitting, just putting him in the outfield. That, like, he's obviously got an arm. He can probably throw it to home plate from the outfield. Obviously, you need to practice a little bit of being an outfielder, but like, just having him be a position player when he's not pitching so that he can go to bat 4 times a game. But anyway,
if he was in the NL,
like,
as long as they got the DH, they don't got to put him out there at all,
that's
baby.
true.
They can just say, "Fuck it,"
but like,
hide him.
But anyway, all this just goes to show that Shohei Ohtani is the most fun player to watch in baseball right now, and he's Japanese. He's from Japan, and he speaks in interviews through an interpreter. And Stephen A. Smith doesn't like that. He said that it's bad for the game, for the face of the league, to be someone who can't speak English. The fact that you got a foreign player that doesn't speak English that needs an interpreter, believe it or not, I think contributes to harming the game to some degree. And then he kind of went on, and then he like clarified himself after all the backlash. And he's like, "No, you guys totally misunderstood me. What I meant was, when you can't speak English and Americans are watching you, you can't appeal to them."
Right.
It's like,
he threw that weak ass qualifier in. Even during his original argument, he said, like, "in this country," like, as though like, "Oh, it's America's fault. It's not me."
Yeah.
As though there aren't trailblazers who...
Everyone's racist, just like me.
Yeah, as if there aren't trailblazers who set the standard and make America go like, "Wait, hold on, maybe we can adjust our mode of thinking." And no, instead they need to conform to the piece of shit reality that he thinks exists. Like,
and just the fact that we're talking about Shohei Ohtani as being the hot shit he 100% is in baseball right now goes to prove that Stephen A. Smith is talking out of his ass.
He's like, Dirk Nowitzki learned English. Why can't he? Why can't Ohtani learn English? Like, you can't fucking make someone learn a language. Why? He's from Japan. He probably does speak some English. I don't know. He probably does speak a little bit of English. But he speaks through an interpreter.
He doesn't want to conversationally.
Cares.
He doesn't want to conversationally bring it up. My favorite baseball player of all time, Roberto Clemente, couldn't speak like any English at all when he first came over to the MLB.
Yeah.
And he used Tommy Lasorda, his manager, as an interpreter, like, just because he only spoke Spanish. And then throughout his career, he learned it slowly, and by the end of his career, he was, pretty fluent.
Yeah.
And like Yao Ming, Yao Ming couldn't speak English when he first came into the NBA. Like, I mean, I'm sure, like, with people like Dirk Nowitzki and, like, stuff like that, they probably just grew up around the English language. Like, it's a lot easier to learn when you're probably, like, taught it from the time when you're young, whereas, like, when you're in an Asian country or maybe in an impoverished, like, country that speaks Spanish or something like that, like, yeah, you're not gonna be exposed, so why the fuck would you speak it? So even if you're taking beginner English lessons, you're not going to want to take crucial interviews that, like, make or break your marketability and potentially misstep by saying the wrong thing, versus just having an interpreter, like,
and it's really
really
common for players to just speak through an interpreter. It's just usually they're speaking Spanish in the MLB. Like, I remember Orlando Arcia when he was with the Brewers. Every time he spoke, he used an interpreter because he did speak English. He clarified, I can speak English, just it's not great.
You don't want to say anything that doesn't actually align with your intent or is inoffensive or offensive or inappropriate, unless you're Stephen A. Smith. Then you just go for it.
That is your goddamn job.
Yeah. All right. It doesn't look like we have any memes, which means we're headed into the breakouts, which is what I would say if this weren't the first episode of a new quarter, which means we're headed into Lucas's Anime Corner.
Fucking quarterly anime quarter. It gets you every time, man. He's not even putting it in the planning doc. This is long.
What the fuck is that?
The Chainsaw Man TV music.
Lucas is the editor of this podcast. Yeah. He can insert whatever he wants, but he chooses. Oh, it's still going.
What was that?
Chainsaw noises.
Jesus.
No, because
again, the editor of the podcast is playing music directly into the microphone.
No, it sounds better.
Oh, he's copy-pasting it. There's a fucking Trojan horse.
No.
Lucas withheld it from the planning doc. That man tricked you. He just running around pretending he's not going to talk about anime.
And then boom,
Lucas
anime.
Trick y'all. Lucas trick y'all.
In Times New Roman font, no less.
I'm sorry. Before you start, I think I'm going to have to ask you to start with this one.
Yes.
Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro. That's just, it's porn, right? It's hentai.
You know what that's going to be.
Yeah, no, this is an anime for people who like being stepped on.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like classic nerd fantasy of...
You're classic.
Classic.
We all want our balls crushed. It's just natural.
You know, boy meets girl, boy begs girl to stomp on his genitals.
I mean,
classic. It's classic nerd fantasy.
Shakespeare stuff.
Yeah. I believe it was Odysseus who started the trope of wanting to be stepped on.
Yeah, like almost... Yeah, stereotypical, like, just a nice guy, anime boy, meets a more sexually forward girl, and then hijinks ensue because she, for some reason, like, wants to hang out with him, even though he sucks.
Oh, man, then, I wonder who wrote this shit.
Yeah, wow, I wonder. This is amazing.
20-something man, 30-something man, maybe.
Yeah, could be any age man.
A guy who didn't have a great time in high school, more than likely. But yeah,
I always have to invoke my favorite webcomic every time your anime corner comes up with the fucking... And he's gonna be the biggest, no, fattest, no, ugliest, no, motherfucker you've ever seen on this. And it's just like, nah. They always gotta make it about them. They always have to put themselves into the story. It's so
and
cringy,
like acknowledge how not cool they are.
Yeah, they have to acknowledge how it's almost impossible. It makes no sense. I'm just some loser, but this unbelievable goddess wants to step on me.
I can't possibly change who I am in any sort of positive way.
Yeah, no,
I just have to happen upon a super hot woman that likes me for no reason.
I deserve someone who likes me for who
they're fucking incels.
Yeah.
They're incels, god damn it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
If Japanese manga hentai, whatever you dojinsu, how do you pronounce Dojinshi, yeah. If those artists lived in the United States, they would be mass shooters.
Whoa.
These guys just don't have guns. Which, hey, I think
these guys don't live in American culture and they don't have access to firearms, they don't kill a lot of people.
You need to, people say, like, oh, there's going to be mentally ill men that, commit mass crimes in some way, regardless of if there's guns. So, no point in getting rid of them. Look at Japan. They don't
look at how many.
And they got some fuckers.
It's Lucas's quarterly anime review.
God,
me and Andrew always fucking
we just take over.
we manage to top ourselves every single time. We manage to shit on it even more.
Two of my best friends are out here being like, yeah, people who make weird porn, probably school shooters. Like, Jesus Christ.
Not people who make weird porn. Hold on. People who make weird porn who are obviously putting themselves into the story because they're that pathetic and literally have nothing else. They have their make-believe perfect 10 that loves them for how ugly and fat and lazy they are.
I don't think you get what the appeal of NTR porn is, but okay.
I don't. You're right. You know what? You nailed me, Lucas. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I am dumb. You're right. I don't understand.
You know what? I do kind of have to hand it to you, Lucas. The fact that you're still doing this every quarter, despite how we just shit on it, is honestly admirable, and I respect you a lot for it.
No, my respect for Lucas grows every time we do a top 10 or an anime
Lucas
corner,
sticks to his guns and holds his convictions like no one I know.
You know what? Maybe
it's just me and Andrew versus the world. Lucas versus the world, which is me and Andrew.
You know what? Maybe that's why I ended up watching this entire show, because on some level, I'm one of those people who like to be stepped on. I enjoy things near and dear to my heart just being eviscerated because they're garbage, like I am.
Lucas, we haven't talked about your love life that much on the podcast. You could find someone to step on, my man. I bet you have if you've wanted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't
there.
you dare identify with these people. You're not a loser.
How?
You're literally not, though. Hold on. You do realize that's the difference. That's just the core difference. Lucas, you have the social ability, and I've seen it in action to a lesser extent, to absolutely pull something like that off. And these guys, literally, all they have, you've worked your way up to do that. You've probably looked at yourself, done some introspection, been like, how can I improve myself today? Maybe I'll run 8 miles. These guys literally do the exact opposite. They just make up a fantasy world in which they don't have to do anything and just get laid by the girl of their dreams. So, anyways, the long and short of it is, me and Andrew have more respect for you every single time you do one of these, and stand your ground and have a good time in the face of relentless opposition.
So, this is weirdly this is a very tonally appropriate conversation for what this anime is, because there's also a whole subplot about, this isn't just a fantasy. This isn't just very softcore pornography. This is art. And, any piece of media that has to be this deserves to exist is, I don't know. Did you just
say this is very softcore pornography?
Listen,
bro's getting stepped on. That's softcore now.
I'm assuming they don't show their genitals being stepped on, but I guess I could be wrong.
Okay. So nobody in the show actually has sex. There's no nudity.
They're having sex.
No, they are very.
They're getting off on the fact they're getting stepped on. That's the equivalent. Look, man, I know you've seen the toothbrushing scene from that one shit. That you can have sex without having sex.
Oh, okay.
What?
What's the toothbrushing scene from? You know it, Lucas. I'm sure you know it.
I know the meme. I don't know the actual series.
Fair enough. I'll look it up. Will you continue to explain how it's softcore and they're totally not having
Now we're going to
This
let you
was-
go.
this was
Get
a
as
weird
far as you
one.
can before we jump back in.
Odd Taxi. Really fun murder mystery. Great ensemble cast. Probably my anime of the season for Q2. People out here acting like this is one of the first one of these to ever exist, though. And it's like, yeah, this is great, but God, anime fans have short-term memory. Like, fucking Bakano, Durarara, running circles around this shit. That being said, I did very much enjoy it. And the main character, Walrus Guy, he's great. A lot of cute designs in this. The Record of Ragnarok anime was so good, I read the manga, which is even better. Right now, Buddha, who's just kind of a hot stoner. I think that tracks. With Buddhism. Beating the shit out of, like, the genesis of sin. So, that's neat. That's a fun time for me. Chojin X, new manga from Sui Ishida, the mangaka behind Tokyo Ghoul, is a lot weirder and a lot more morbid than the first one. Good body horror. Dig it. Already talked about
More
it.
body horror.
More
Didn't have enough
body
body
horror.
horror in it for me.
More, but I don't want to see people eating people. I want to see a dude turn into a weird bird, man. That's what I'm about.
Who eats people?
Maybe.
You can always just have them turn into a weird bird man, in addition to whatever body horror you currently have going on.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't see a problem here. It's just soft core body horror. Anyway,
No
by
one's
the way,
actually
just really
getting
quick,
eaten.
Okay.
it's Niseme no Gatari is the anime with the toothbrushing scene.
I think it is only known for the toothbrushing scene. That is its only claim to fame because it's right over my head.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Die Dark, talked about it before. Having a great time. There's a new character in there who's just immortal, but really bad at being immortal. He gets fucked up a lot and takes him a while to get back to half decent. Everybody else hates them. Hates the immortal dude. It's a lot of fun. And then Dan to Dan is from Yokinobu Tatsu, a former assistant on the Chainsaw Man manga. It's fucking ridiculous in every way that I love. Boy obsessed with the aliens ends up having his junk stolen by an evil spirit while investigating aliens with a girl who comes from a long line of mediums. Now they have to work together to get his dick back. Maybe fall in love along the way? I don't know.
Who the fuck comes up with this shit?
You said having his junk stolen, and I laughed like I'm a child. I heard his junk stolen, and I was like, I assumed it was his penis. And then no,
Yeah.
like no, not junk as in like random garbage.
No.
No, is his penis. His penis was stolen.
Yeah. Evil spirit took his dick. You gotta get that back.
Yeah, man.
Huh?
I mean, if an evil spirit takes your dick, the only thing you can do is hit up a
Hot girl.
fucking girl medium who then falls in love with you.
Oh, maybe.
Even though you've got no dick and you're big and ugly and pathetic and not socially adept.
I'm
and,
sure there won't be
completely
hijinks regarding not having a dick and a girl that wants it.
No, he got his dick
No,
back.
then you just get out a toothbrush.
10 chapters in, he has his dick back. Doesn't have his balls yet, but they're working on that.
Oh, they took his balls too?
Oh yeah. Whole kit and caboodle.
Okay.
Yeah, wow.
How the fuck is this
Stand
allowed?
on the
Like, children buy this stuff.
Is this allowed? They need to stop. Did you say children read this?
Yeah.
Okay, children do a lot of things. I hate that fucking argument. I will back anime in this instance and be like, no, the fucking won't someone think about the children? It's like children will do whatever children will
you know what?
do. We
We
can't
got
Ryan
censor
on the
ourselves
anime team.
based on kids.
You're right. That's absolutely fair. Let me. Not. I'm
No,
not.
here's-
not
here's-
no. I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
No, I'm about to agree with you, Andrew. Whatever. I think I know what you're about to say.
I'm not going to say anything about, oh, this is inappropriate. I'm going to say anime and manga are not allowed to say that they should be taken seriously when apparently one of the bigger manga coming out is about a dude that gets his dick and balls stolen by a spirit and has to go get it back.
Yeah. I was going to say that, like, oh, we shouldn't think about, like, won't someone think about the children? Like, we should think about, like, well, no, there's grown adults reading this. This material is unfit for everyone. Like,
okay, to be fair, this is one of the bigger manga coming out to me personally. This is very niche. I don't think it even has an official translation yet. No, manga totally above board. One of the biggest ones right now. My Hero Academia is all about how cops should just be given free reign to do whatever they want. Like American TV, you know?
yeah. True.
Huh?
It's about the art. Speaking truth to power.
Might have an article in the works about this. You'll see. You'll all see.
And one of the cops just doesn't do anything. He just, like, hangs out on his laptop all day, like, writing comics, but he still gets a paycheck and has a really hot wife.
Yeah, and the
like,
girls
lives
love
a pretty
him.
cool life. Like, oh, man, it's that genre, I think, that really triggers it for me. Of like, I just don't think there's that much of an analog. Because American TV, everyone's just remarkably attractive and good looking, so it's just like, you'll never see like wow, this guy's pretty schleppy. Like, even if they are, they're just an above average looking person instead of a like unbelievably looking like male model.
I guess.
So
Yeah, the only thing I can kind of think of is that a lot of Stephen King books are, well, actually no. A lot of Stephen King books are about writers doing pretty well for a while and then things going horribly wrong for them. So there's a self-loathing element in there that isn't in anime and manga for the most part.
The author's mouthpiece is very much a feature of American fiction, like 100%, where they're just like, oh yeah, I'm inserting myself into the story too through this character. Like the famous George R. R. Martin clearly inserting himself as Samuel Tarly, like just literally 1-to-1. It's just, what if George R. R. Martin was 16 and in Game of Thrones? Like, this is what it would be. But it's just like Samuel Tarly is kind of a loser who, like, even though like he's just kind of good spirited and good natured, and like he doesn't get the hottest, like it's not like fucking Marjorie Tyrell like shows up and is just like, oh my god, Sam Tarly, you just peed your pants, I love you. Like, it's just, like he does get stuff, but it's through like kind of like fumbling into it, and then like because he's a good person and is trying to improve himself and cares about everyone around him. He's not some loser.
Like, his wife ends up being a woman who, hey, you're a nice guy, and also, like, the first dude I've met who doesn't want to fuck me and is also my dad, so we can make this work.
Exactly. That if that was the anime, sure. But like you outlined, it's always no. It's like, the hottest girl at school is into me? It's an anime. like that credits, like cut to the opening theme song. Like, it's just, that's the framing device.
Yeah, there's too much male fantasy in anime. I'll admit that. I will readily admit that. But
is it, so maybe this is bad on me.
Yeah.
Maybe this is my own judgmentalness coming through. There's so much male fantasy in American fiction, but at least the protagonists aren't like insertions of these fucking losers. Like, like they're the best of us. They're what men are quote unquote supposed to strive for.
Are they?
Like,
Is it
even if
still
it's,
like a harmful stereotype?
even if it's toxic
Yeah.
and not good, at least like it's these men are better than you are. Like, you're supposed to strive to be better so that you can be like this guy. Something about that type of fiction is so like, no, don't do anything, man. Sit in your basement, and one day a magical fairy will come, and she'll be really hot, and like you just live there, and it's just like,
I guess
I don't know, man. It's
no.
fucked,
I think, but then
weird.
a part of that fantasy in a lot of anime manga is just like, but then the dude gets there by the end. You know,
I guess
like it's the
I don't
process
see
of
that
him being a power.
and part of it.
No, yeah,
which is
you're
fair.
because you're tapping out at episode 1, rightfully.
I'm not
for a lot of
tapping
this
in.
stuff. Yeah.
This is all cultural osmosis, baby.
Right.
This is all. Boy, I'm finding this trope a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm assuming they go on some level of hero's journey. Otherwise, it's not even really a story. But
Right. No, they're anime manga. I think this metaphor will hold up. Start out in the Hercules movie, like they're like skinny Hercules. They're like wimpy, doesn't have like really super strength yet Hercules. Then it goes through Hercules getting there, whereas a lot of American TV, I think, nah, this is a fucking cock diesel Hercules right from the get-go.
I guess, yeah, maybe that's just Americans, you know?
Yeah.
But like,
Oh boy.
I think it's the aspect of them. They always get the girl before they go on that journey.
Or like they have the in. Like this is the childhood friend. Like you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
The girl's into them for no apparent reason. And then, yeah, maybe they come around to quote-unquote deserving them. But, like, in American fiction, it's like if the guy, even if he's, like, this hot shot, whatever, the woman isn't into him at first because, like, he has to go on that journey for her to end up being into him.
And I will say, I know that it's like this in the Disney version of Hercules. I don't think in the myth Hercules was ever like a skinny loser. I think he was always like the greatest warrior, and then they're like, go conquer some shit.
I think Hercules was just a dude at one point, though. Like, I think Hercules had a training arc. I think that's right.
Yeah, but he was the son of a god.
Yeah.
I think he was half god.
I don't know if there was like an actual training arc. I think it was just, oh man, this Hercules, he's always been the strongest. And it's because his dad is Zeus. What if you go kill a lion? What if you go kill a hydra? What if you go kill 7 other monsters or whatever the fuck?
Lion, hydra, capture the golden hind of Artemis, capture the Erymanthian boar, clean the Aegean stables in a single day. Hold on.
Yeah.
One of these things, not like the other.
Yeah, he's killing this shit. And then they're just like, go muck the stables.
Yeah, no, he like, got Tom Sawyer there in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle. Someone's like, I sure do love shoveling shit. And he's like, oh, God, that looks kind of cool, man. Yeah, and then it goes right back. Slay the Stymphalian birds. Capture the Cretan bull. Steer the Maris of Diomedes. Obtain the girdle of Hippolyta. Like, what? Whoa, that one's getting a little racy.
Yeah, no, just go on a panty raid. File my taxes.
Hercules is Mr. Krabs.
We're not going to be able to air this adventure on Paramount Plus, Hercules.
Yeah. Fucking Apollo's just like, I guess you're going to miss the panty raid.
That tracks. Apollo would be that asshole. All right, I've been talking way too much about my shit. What are you guys checking out in the breakouts?
I started playing Metro Exodus on the PlayStation 5.
Oh.
It won't count, though, I guess, according to our rules for the end of the year list. Which is fair. I just have nothing else.
I have nothing.
I mean,
I don't even have movies.
Yeah,
or TV shows.
I have no movies. I have no movies on my list.
I don't know that I have any TV shows, man. I'm pretty bad right now.
I have one TV show. No, 2 TV shows because of Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, Rick and Morty.
And then I have Resident Evil as my video game.
One more than me.
Yeah,
hey.
We may have to change the rules a little bit. Anyway, Metro
Top fives.
Metro Exodus on PlayStation 5. I played the first 2 Metro games for the first time last year on my PC. And I got this one on sale. This is like the third in the trilogy. And it's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's like surprisingly in depth compared to the other games, which were just a first-person shooter made by a very small group of people that cared a lot about a book and wanted to like put that world into a video game. And then this is a AAA video game. There's a lot of features. There's like several sections that are each basically like mini open world games, and then you travel on your train to the next one in the story. Glitchy as fuck. Really bad English voice acting. So, it kept some stuff from the old games. I assume that the original voice acting is done in Russian because it's a Ukrainian team, and the books and the games take place in Russia. But yeah, it's fun. Very atmospheric, very hard. Good time.
You got the collection, right?
No.
Okay.
When I played the first 2 last year, I got the collection because they remastered the first 2 games, and then like around the same time released Metro Exodus on the PlayStation 4 and the PC and whatever the fuck the old Xbox was called, and then just a couple weeks ago they upgraded it to next gen.
Rad.
Yeah.
And okay, cool. What is this? Is there a flavor of like post-apocalypse for this one, or is it pretty standard like early onset, not quite to Mad Max territory, but getting?
Oh no, it's late. It's like
okay.
The plot of the Metro series is nuclear apocalypse. The residents of Moscow fled to the subways, which doubled as nuclear shelters. Like that's literally how the metro in Moscow was designed, to be a shelter in case of a nuclear bomb. And then over the course of like 20 or 30 years, people just live down there in the subway. And then, monsters, mutants and shit, and magical stuff going on because of the horrors of the whole world dying at once. And then like the surface is covered in like ice and radiation, and you have to like use a gas mask that actually has a timer, and you have to get more gas mask shit in order to survive outside of the subway. And then this game is, they find out that the rest of the world is not dead, that their communications were just being jammed, and they leave the metro to go explore the rest of Russia. Which is still fucked up, but not as bad as Moscow was, because Moscow was hit the hardest.
Okay. That sounds very cool. Cannot wait for updates as you play through that. What is Rear Window?
Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, fuck me. I'm uncultured. Okay.
I mean, I saw it for the first time 2 days ago. So, not gonna harp on you. Yeah, really good. I liked it a lot. Jade also had not seen it.
She never... I thought she was in...
She was. And she had to skip that one because of work schedules, and then had to kind of fake her way through the class a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, the cinematography was great, but couldn't get over the sexist undertones.
just very general, like, this is gonna hit no matter what.
Not with that professor. Bro, that professor, like, not very up on the, like, feminism.
Yeah.
Not
going
up
back
on
to me.
the feminism. Yeah.
Well, she was like a woman. She was born in Russia, and she came over, and she had to be told that in the movie Marnie, there's a very graphic rape scene because she didn't think it was rape.
Oh my God.
Because they were married, and it's just like, no, that was a remarkably graphic depiction of rape.
Holy shit.
Professor
Oh, we were calling people out now.
Oops.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe I
shit.
shouldn't have. Yeah.
Oh, gonna have to add a censor beep to that one. What is the general plot of Rear Window, and how does it rank against the other Hitchcockian?
Can I participate? Can we go beat for beat?
Yeah,
Andrew?
absolutely.
Go
So
for
here's
it.
the thing. I have not seen many Hitchcock movies. I've seen Psycho and Rear Window, and I know I've seen one other Hitchcock movie, but I don't remember what it was or anything about it. I just remember...
Vertigo?
I think I've seen part of Vertigo.
North by Northwest?
I don't remember. It was.
I recommend North by Northwest if you like some of these, by the way. North by Northwest is my
Okay.
favorite.
I remember watching it. I was a kid. I watched it on like TCM, and then like my mom was like, "Oh, if you liked that movie, you would like other like Hitchcock's other movies." I'm like, "Who's Alfred Hitchcock?" And she's like, "Oh, that was the director. I liked The Birds and Vertigo."
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the Birds. Birds does not hold up as well.
Anyway, so basic plot is that there's a photographer who has a broken leg due to an accident when he was taking a shot, and he's
Okay, I know this one now.
Yeah, he's stuck in his apartment, and he passes the time just by like looking out of his window and watching, basically being a nosy neighbor on all of his neighbors, and then sees some specific like suspicious shit, and like it just kind of like gets in his brain. He's like, I think someone just fucking got murdered. And then trying to then prove it by spying on the neighbors. And that's what happens.
Yeah. And there's twists.
Kind of.
Very twisty.
So this has been parodied now by everything from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends to Family Guy. Is he actually...
It had a soft reboot in
Disturbia.
on Netflix.
Oh.
No, The Woman in the Window. Me and Angel watched
Oh, really?
it.
Huh.
It's literally, it's just the same
Oh.
movie.
Okay, so it's not a soft reboot. It's just taking the idea.
They're paying direct homage. They open the movie with a shot of her watching Rear Window.
Oh, shit.
So like, they're like, well, we're just playing around with the concept, but it's like, yeah, you're just borrowing the entire movie.
I guess then... God. Is there actually a murder? And then is this...
Yeah, I think you're going to want to see this movie. I think it really held up. It's good.
My follow-up question was going to be, and I think you had watched, was it Psycho earlier in the year? Or you talked about another Hitchcock film previously where you had said...
Yeah, I watched
you felt
Psycho like early in the pandemic.
Yeah, and you had said that the fact that the plot of this movie is so ubiquitous to the point of being tropey kind of ruined that experience for you. Did that prove true for Rear Window, or does it hold up?
I think it holds up. And again, what my opinion on Psycho wasn't that it doesn't hold up. It's that it had been parodied and like talked about so much that even though I went in not knowing the plot of Psycho, I very quickly put it together. I'm like, oh, all of that stuff that I've seen before comes from this. And because of that, I then knew how Psycho would play out. And so it took a lot of it away from me. Rear Window is a little different because, I mean, to an extent, the summary that you would see on the back of the DVD, a photographer with a broken leg stuck in his apartment passes the time by watching his neighbors. When he thinks that he might have seen a murder, he tries to prove it. I mean, that's it. Like, nothing really was spoiled for me watching the movie. I think it's just how it was executed that made it well, or made it good.
Fair.
Now, Ryan, you're an
It's
actual
very-
expert.
I mean, I would draw comparisons to Knives Out. Lucas, you said you don't even care about spoilers, so I'm not going to try to I'm not going to directly spoil it, but I'll definitely like talk around concepts that could alter your viewing experience. I think it's very similar to Knives Out in that it sets you up to think a thing and then kind of dashes those expectations. So you're like, oh yeah, that was twisty. But then it comes right back around and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Right.
Like it catches you completely by surprise by meeting your expectations. Like it's a fun ride.
Yeah.
Like it's a good old time. I'm not the biggest fan of James Stewart. Every time I see James Stewart in a Hitchcock movie, I'm like, I wish it was just Cary Grant, because Cary Grant is just James Stewart with charisma. So
you just got at James Stewart.
James Stewart is Jimmy Stewart, right? Like when. Okay, I'm just making sure that
his real name is James.
I know.
Stewart.
I'm just making sure they're the same person.
Jimmy is like a diminutive nickname. Yeah.
I mean, I had always heard of him referred to as Jimmy Stewart.
Probably by me and Ian, because I think me and Ian primarily refer to him as that because of the epic rap battle of history, which had all the directors, and I think it was Steven Spielberg's verse where he says, "You produced Jimmy Stewart making one of two faces," which is pretty accurate. Yeah. He's really not spectacular, but the movie, I would argue, isn't really about him. It's about the narrative device that's happening.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. His girlfriend, Cary Grant. Wait, is it Cary Grant? I thought it was something else.
No, Cary Grant is a man.
Oh, wait, then
Cary Grant is the lead of like North by Northwest and Vertigo and no, not Vertigo. North by Northwest and I don't know, like His Girl Friday.
Oh, Grace Kelly is who I'm thinking of. I don't know.
Grace Kelly.
You said Cary Grant, and then that got in my head.
Isn't she a princess?
Yeah, she is. She's the Princess of Monaco. She married the fucking Prince of Monaco.
Hell yeah.
She was really good in the movie, I thought. The one thing I will say...
everyone was good except for James Stewart.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say about the movie that made me go like, okay, what? Like, there is a scene towards the end of the movie where he's spying on the neighbors, and they're like, oh, his girlfriend's gonna go pilfer through the suspect's apartment, and then they're like, looking at the apartment below hers, and there's a woman about to commit suicide. And there's a nurse standing next to him, his nurse. He's like, what is she doing? He's like, and she takes binoculars and looks. She's got enough, name a drug, to like knock out half of Arkansas. And then she like pours them on her table, starts writing a letter, and then they just look away. They're like, whatever. And then they come back to it a couple minutes later because she hasn't died yet, and they're like, oh, I guess you were wrong about her. She didn't fucking commit suicide. And then a couple minutes later, they see her with the pills, like, oh my god, she's gonna kill herself, call the police. Like, they acknowledged it, not like, oh, what is she doing? I don't know. Oh, she's gonna fucking kill herself. Whatever.
So
does that...
We talked about it a lot in my class about Alfred Hitchcock, is that there's this, it's suspense versus surprise, right? Like suspense, you know something narratively that the characters don't, so you are watching in horror of something that you know is coming and it's unavoidable, and so you're just like on pins and needles, like holy shit. The best representation of this, which will still make your palms fucking sweat, is this short film that he did. It was one of the few films that he directed for Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which is like a TV show that was full of short films, about this kid with a gun. And that's it. The kid thinks he has a toy gun, but it's his dad's real gun. And he's going around town with a real gun that has bullets in it, and you're just like, fuck, like, and all these like pulling it out and like running around and it's just like, fuck, it's unavoidable. I want this all to stop. I'm on pins and needles, like, and then like surprise would be, well, look, there's that woman. Oh, she looks sad, and then cutting away versus like, no, she's got a buttload of drugs. I wonder what's going on. Well, there's more important stuff. We got to pay attention to my girlfriend. And then the viewer's like, wait, what the fuck? What was going on now? What?
Look, I understand, Hitchcock's bomb theory. It's been done to death and all that kind of stuff. But, like, it wasn't that we as the viewer saw it and the other people didn't understand it or didn't see it. They saw it, explained to the audience, that's this drug. She's gonna die. And then they're like, and then kept looking, and it wasn't that something else got in the way at that point. And then later on, they're like, oh my god, I just fucking figured it out. She's gonna kill herself. I don't know.
Listen, man.
I think they had to telegraph it a lot more. Maybe the ideal of like suicide by pills wasn't quite as mainstream, so it was like, I don't know.
And the suspense leading up to that of like seeing the inner turmoil this woman was going through, and then like seeing her like starting to write a note, you're like, oh fuck. Like you as the audience know before the characters know, but then the characters know.
I don't know if they were supposed to know. I think you read it as them knowing because you're able to do the simple math.
I guess.
But maybe Hitchcock had to telegraph it a little bit extra. And
Maybe.
it clicked, but for the audience, it's just more like, no, they don't get it. Like, they're just being stupid. So, yeah.
Listen, man, they are there to solve a murder, and that murder, open and shut. We know who did that one. The woman did.
Yeah.
Trying to get the
They
guy
call
one
the
floor
cops
above.
after the suicide, just like, well, I know who did it. And that's the important part, right, police?
All right. I think that will take us to the group chat. I know we're getting a little long in the tooth on this one, but feel like you guys didn't like the most recent episode of Rick and Morty as much as I did.
No.
No?
I haven't liked any of the episodes of Rick and Morty this season except for the first one.
Oh.
As much as you
Here's the
did.
thing. I've sided with you on the last two, Lucas. I did genuinely like the Planetina episode just like you, even though Ryan didn't. And I thought the decoy episode was fine. I didn't think it was the best ever. I thought it was decent. This one was bad. This one fucking sucked. Just so gross. And like that was the whole joke. That stuff was kind of gross.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if there was gross stuff
if it was
happening.
funny.
And then, yeah. But it's just like, oh, Morty fucked a horse masturbator a lot. Now his cum is monsters. And then...
See, but the first part was funny. I was ready for that to be a fun framing device that they dropped and moved on to the actual plot. But it was the actual plot.
Yeah, it was the whole
and
thing.
that was the whole joke, is that he's got monster cum.
Yeah, no, that was the one joke. And like there were a couple of moments obviously that I laughed throughout the episode because just some stuff is so odd and grotesque that you can't help but laugh. But like a lot of it was just like, oh god.
You watched it with me, Lucas. I don't know if I laughed.
I
don't know if I had a laugh in there.
And then just the end with
pretty
the
rough.
incest baby and like launching it into space and why? It wasn't funny. They just did it because it would make you go, ugh, I don't like that.
Yeah, you know what? Not top tier Rick and Morty by any means. I thought this was a pretty decent, pretty fun alien parody. And
Alien parody.
Alien parody.
or not Independence Day. Like that
It
style
was called
of-
Rick Dependence Spray, but I don't really know if it was that much like Independence Day.
I don't know if it was 1-to-1.
Okay, but then I'm gonna be honest. The stuff with Blazin got me. That got me really good.
Yeah, it was okay. Once again, a funny bit.
Just look at that.
That works as a bit, not
Yeah.
as a constant. Like, this is the humor of the episode.
I'm not gonna gamble with you on human lives, but like if I did, that dude's totally living the longest.
Yeah,
right?
you see, like that was funny.
That was funny. That was really funny. And then it would have been hilarious if he would have died instantly. Like, before, and then all the other Marines, like, lived with
And
them.
they're like, wow,
that would have been fucking
we were
cool.
wrong. And like the whole thing, like, and I did not like the scene where Blazin just turned out to be a fucking weirdo. Like, because that went on for too long and it was kind of like the rest of the episode, just like, they're just doing it because it's not cool. But like the Rick saying like, oh man, we totally read this guy wrong. Like that was funny. But Jesus Christ. The cum.
It was too much,
So much
man.
cum. And that was just the whole thing.
How in the world is that writer's room gender balanced? Like,
Ugh.
come on, women, please save us from episodes about monster semen.
And them putting the like
Please.
feminist stuff in there of like, oh man, like we we have the smart ideas and the men aren't listening, surrounded by an episode that's just a cum joke. It doesn't work.
I wanted a scene of them riding the sperm. What did they think they were referencing? I don't remember. And it was just like, that's what we built the episode around. And it was like, fuck. How, Dan Harmon? How is that an episode idea for you?
Yeah.
Literally, like, fucking goddamn it.
I feel like we have interdimensional cable coming up, or an interdimensional cable like, and hopefully that'll get things back on track. I don't know. Yeah.
Not lately for me.
Fair. Pretty above average season of Rick and Morty for me so far, but that's just me. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't rewatched Rick and Morty very much in the grand scheme of things.
Maybe some of it's rose-colored glasses, but I do think I remember seasons like 2 and 3 being just non-stop bangers. But maybe that's just nostalgia.
Right. Yeah, I feel like season 2, the stinker that everyone identified is Interdimensional Cable sequel, which still has golden moments that people absolutely reference as part of the Interdimensional Cable lore without realizing it's part of the sequel that they hated. Like,
people laugh when penises are big. They laugh when they are small. I am so and so penis, such and such dick.
Yeah. And we thought of Werner Herzog when we were staring down the eyes of a cold, calculating predator that held no regard for human life.
Full circle.
Andrew, I broke down for a second after we were in the safe zone as the thought came back into my mind, Werner Herzog listening to that tape of that man being killed by bears and thinking, you should never listen to this. And like, that could have been us. I could have been
us. We would not have died, personally.
One of you might have, but that probably would have been it.
Well, they wouldn't have gone for us, man.
No, we were
as bad as it is.
One
of those kids was in danger.
Yeah.
The full-grown men were not in danger.
Yeah.
Kick.
That was our tour guide's first tour back since the pandemic.
Yeah. He made a big deal. He's like, I might be a little rusty, but it's my big return.
Sees the bear, lights a cigarette, and walks away.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
Yeah, sees the bear, just walks off the cliff. Just like, all right, now this is ruined. Don't have anything left.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening to episode 149 of the Voluntary Viewing Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, etc. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, where we have some fabulous highlight clips. Email us your questions, business opportunities, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. ActBlue link in the description if you want to help a collection of great progressive causes. We have a Patreon where you can support us and join the likes of the terrific Tiffany Cole, Sucky Badger, and Sensual Richard Nixon. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates at V2_podcast and follow me on Twitter to keep up with all of my writing at Lucas DeRuyter. Thank you all again so much for listening. Good luck with whatever you have going on this week.